Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. And we about to get into it. We already been getting into it. We about to get into it. Julius Randle, keep him or dump him. And it's about to be live up in this one. I can guarantee it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get busy.
That's the G.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's about to be a live one because we got a lot to discuss. You know what I'm saying? So right now, we're talking about keep him or dump him. And the topic of conversation is Julius Randle. And whether or not we should keep him or dump him. So before we even get into the discussion and get into the conversation, let's take a look at Julius Randle, ladies and gentlemen, and what it was like for Julius Randle this season. Where is he this season? And what are the numbers behind it so we can make an informed decision on whether or not you keep him or you dump him, ladies and gentlemen. And I can guarantee you're going to like this conversation. You see Julius Randle, keep him or dump him. And I'm pretty sure there's people in the chat already right now that's saying dump him, dump him, dump him. I'm looking at it. Dump him, dump him, dump him, dump him, dump him. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. Let's start first. Let's just take a look at his salary. Julius Randle's on the team for 3 seasons. He was signed for 3 seasons, ladies and gentlemen. All right. This year, he's making $18 million a year. All right. 2020, 2021, he makes 18.9. And then in 2021, 2022, he makes $19.8 million. That's just a sliver under $20 million a year Julius Randle makes. All right. Now, he's only guaranteed $4 million for 2021, 2022. All right, he's guaranteed $4 million. So the Knicks, his contract becomes fully guaranteed if he's not waived by June 28th, 2021. All right. So the Knicks have to waive him by June 28th, 2021. All right, and if they waive him by that date, then they only got to pay him $4 million. If they do not waive him by that date, then they owe him $19.8 million for 2021 and 2022. All right, so that's a situation right there that the Knicks are going to have to make a decision on. There's a few guys this season where the Knicks are going to have to make that decision as well. Right, there's a few guys this season where the Knicks are going to have to decide. What do I do? Do we keep them? Do we waive them? How is that going to go? All right. So that's Julius Randle's one of them. Well, that's for 2021. In summer of 2021, the Knicks got to make that decision. 2019, 2020 this season, Julius Randle averaged 19.5 points per game. He averaged 9.7 rebounds per game. He averaged 3.1 assists. 3 turnovers to go along with those assists. Not to go along with those assists, to nullify those assists. All right, so those 3 turnovers basically erase those 3.1 assists. And you guys know those turnovers, right? Those turnovers, he probably averaged 2 from trying to spin in the lane every game. Shot 46% from the field, which was down from the previous season. Previous season, he shot 50% from the field. And he shot 27.7% from 3, which was down from the previous season as well. All right, so those are his numbers for this year. Again, 19.5 points per game, 9.7 rebounds, 3.1 assists, 3 turnovers, shot 46% from the field, and 27.7% from the 3-point line. All right, let's move on. Let's take a look at what else with Julius Randle, his strengths and his weaknesses. Strengths. Talk about his strengths. He can score down low. He's a beast down low. We know that. All right. When he gets the ball down low, there's a few things that I don't like that he does when he's down low. That double pump. I don't like that double pump. All right. He can be dangerous playing downhill. When he gets the ball in motion, going towards the basket, and you're catching him off the move, going right towards the basket, he's dangerous. Very dangerous. He's hard to stop. He could be a double-digit rebounder. And you see I put he can be a double-digit rebounder. Right? Because there's a few areas where I think he needs to improve in order to become a double-digit rebounder. And I think he's an underrated passer. Right? He's able to make good passes. Okay, now, he got, I feel like this year he tried to be what I want to say, the primary guy. He tried to do that. He's not that, but I think he tried to do that. His weaknesses, turnover prone. Average 3 turnovers a game this season. His court awareness, he doesn't have good court awareness, right? Doesn't get the ball out quick enough. Right? He needs to get we were watching the game with Patrick Ewing. Right? Where when Patrick Ewing caught the ball, that double came, bam, he kicked it out. Okay? Julius Randle doesn't get the ball out fast enough. He's got to learn how to get the ball out faster. There are times when he doesn't play with effort. I've seen it. I've seen him when he does play with effort, he can make effort plays. Then there's times when, you see him jog back. When you say, hey, you just missed the shot, or you just turned the ball over, you should be hustling back. Okay? Then he struggles to shoot from the outside. Definitely from 3. He only shoots 27% from 3. And then he didn't really show me that he has a strong mid-range game either. That's an area of development for him, to develop that mid-range game. And then take it out to 3. This year, I don't know if he shot more threes this year than he did the previous season. Well, obviously, he probably didn't because the season is cut short. Right? But he didn't shoot it well. And, that was the next step. So, with Julius Randle, it's a crazy thing, with Julius Randle. And there's obviously a lot of debate between Knicks fans, and people mention other Knicks fans, and people are mentioning people that aren't even Knicks fans, and this and that and the other thing. Right? But the question coming into the season for Julius Randle was whether or not he was going to be able to elevate his game to the next level. Could he elevate his game to be a primary scorer? Now, before the season started, there was a lot of people that thought that he could. A lot of people said, yeah, if he does this, if he does that, he can elevate his game. He can bring his game to the next level. That was the big question coming into the season for Julius Randle, right? Can he become an all-star? 19 and 9.7. You can't really say it's all-star numbers when you play for a team that's only won 21 or 23 games or whatever that is. So you can't really say that those are all-star numbers. You got to put those numbers up on a team that's at least, in the playoffs with a 500 record, in my opinion. Right? 500 record. In the playoffs, not in the playoffs. 500 record. Put up those kind of numbers. Playoff consideration. Playing for a team that's only won 21, 23 games, however many wins we had this season. Not playoff consideration, in my opinion. Right, but that was where he thought he could take his game to this season. Looking back on the season, he clearly didn't take his game to that next level. There are a couple of things that prevented him from taking his game to that next level, in my opinion. One, the outside shot, right? He's 6'8". He can play center, right? Because he's strong. He's got a powerful body. He can play center. But he's got, in today's game, you got to be able to shoot the ball from the outside. Shooting 27.7%, it's not going to get you there. You really got to be dominant down low in order to take it there, in order to be able to go to the next level without shooting it from the outside. Court awareness. I think court awareness is one of his biggest issues. Right? He gets himself tangled up. Right? He doesn't always keep the ball up high. He dips the ball down low a lot. And that gets him in trouble. He doesn't always see the double team or where it's coming from. Right? So he gets the ball, and instead of seeing where the double team is coming from, he holds it, and then when the double team comes, he tries to step through it and kick it out. Or something like that. It results in a turnover or a bad pass or not a pass at all, and he pulls a bad shot. All right, so that court awareness and understanding where he is on the court, and sometimes he passes the ball a split second too late when he does get it out. A lot of times it's a split second too late. Right? He'll have the ball and someone will be open, and then he waits another second, and then he makes the pass. That'll slow down your offense, especially when you have a player that everyone is, that's where the double teams are coming, right? He was the player that was double teamed the most time because you give him the ball in the post and he was tough to stop. So he'd get double teamed. You got to learn to get that ball out, get it out, recognize where the double team is coming from, and then get it out to the player. Those are some things that he's really got to work on. And then that spin move. We all know about the spin move, right? The spin move can be an effective move when he's one-on-one and if he spins the right way. There's plenty of times when I've seen him take 2 stabs towards the middle of the court that he could have spun back if he wanted to use a spin move. Spun back towards the baseline, but he didn't. He kicked it out. And then there were times when he's going baseline and he spins right into the traffic. Right? So it's like he spins without knowing why he's spinning. It's just like a move that he practices, and then he uses it at the wrong times all the time. Okay, so he's got to, and that's part of court awareness, understanding where you are and when to use a move. Right? And then, if he really wants to go to the next level, your greatest players, your best players do not have those. Well, let me say this. Everyone has times where they take a break on the court. I don't care who you are. Everyone has those times. Okay? But when you're not one of the greats, those times have to be very, very little. See, when you're you're one of the great players to bless the NBA, you can take off moments. Ain't nobody going to say nothing to you. But if you're not one of those greats, then those times have to be very, very limited. And there are times when I've seen him hustle and really be motivated to play defense, but then there were times when he just was not. And if he wants to really elevate his game, he's got to take it to the point where he can play, where he plays with that aggression, the aggression that he has, where he plays with that aggression on both sides of the floor, right? And he just busts his ass every time he's out there on the floor. He's got to get that. I don't know if he ever will. Who knows? I don't know if he ever will. That being said, I think, and I know there's a lot of people that disagree with me, and we're gonna confront a lot of people that disagree with me. I think he could be a valuable piece to a team. Everyone looked at Julius Randle this year and looked at, he makes $20 million, so he's got to be 25 points, 10 rebounds a game, no turnovers, and make all the right plays every time he touches the ball. But, with Julius Randle, it was, I don't know if I want to say experiment, right? I don't know if I want to say experiment, but it was a season to see, can he take it to the next level? And I just think there were a lot of things that were not in place for him, not even to take it to the next level, but to perform at his optimum level. Right? There's just a lot of things that were not in place to perform the way he did when he was with the Pelicans. See, when he was with the Pelicans, he had Drew Holiday there. You had a lead guard who had been in the NBA for a while. People will point to R.J. Barrett and say, well, he's our guard, but he's not in the NBA for a while. It's his rookie season. He's trying to learn the game. He's trying to learn the NBA game, the NBA. All right, so he had a lot on his plate. He'll be ready. Maybe not, next year, the year after, he'll be ready to take that mantle and be the lead guard, if that's what it is. Or, the leader on the floor. Got to give him a year or two. Not this season. Last season, though, Julius Randle had Drew Holiday with him. Big difference. Changes the game. This season, Elfrid Payton, Frank Ntilikina, Dennis Smith Jr. We had a hodgepodge of point guards. Now, I'm going to, we'll talk to some people that don't believe the point guard means nothing. Doesn't matter. I disagree. I think a point guard means everything when it comes to a basketball game, when it comes to a basketball team. That point guard means everything. When you have a point guard, your point guard is able to direct traffic. Your point guard is able to put the people in the right positions to score effectively. And if somebody is not doing that, if somebody is spinning in the lane and turning the ball over, if somebody is slow at getting the ball out, then they take over. Give me the ball. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. So you got to have a point guard who's strong-minded enough to tell these guys, this is where I'm going with the ball, like it or not. All right? A point guard, people think it's a cliche saying, but is your coach on the floor. A point guard that has respect is able to manage these guys and put them in the proper positions to be successful. Agree or disagree? I'm cool with it. I understand. You know what I'm saying? So I think that wasn't to his benefit this year. And they tried to run him at point forward. It's not what he does. He doesn't have court awareness. Right? If you don't have court awareness, you're not going to be a point forward. Okay? He may have the body sizes, LeBron James, and, maybe he has some passing ability, which he does. Right? But point forward is not what he needs. Okay? Not what he needs to be at all. So I think there are some things that weren't in his favor this year. And I'm not taking it away from him. He, when he had the ball in his hands, I always tell my players, you have the ball in your hand, you're the drum beat, right? You set the rhythm. Once you have the ball in your hand, you set the rhythm, you make things go. All right? But anyway, I think the Knicks should keep him. I think they should keep him, right? Try to get a point guard in. See if we can settle in on some roles and some positions. Get a coach that is going to be a disciplinarian. A coach that will put him on the bench if he's not working hard. A coach that will put him on the bench if he's not passing the ball out of double teams fast enough. That's what you need. Because, see, we had no discipline on this team this year. No discipline whatsoever. And plus, contract-wise, it makes sense. Unless you're going to get some star player, but contract-wise, you keep him, right? And then if you did want to trade him at the deadline, or if you wanted to trade him next year's draft, it's easy to trade him because the team can get out of his contract. I say keep him. All right? I say keep him. Let's get to the guys that I have here. Let's see who we got here. We got Guillermo. We got Nick G. And we got Isaiah. I don't know what Isaiah do. I don't need to say anything else. You know Isaiah. Now, look. See, I told Isaiah the other day. I said, have headphones and do not be in the bed. Sit up like a human being. I flip over, and he's sitting in the bed, laying in the bed. He said, no, Sam, I'm going to be in the kitchen because I'm tired of falling asleep. I'm tired of falling asleep on the show. I'm going to be in the kitchen. He's in the bed. You know what I mean? So, Let me get these guys unmuted. Hopefully, Isaiah, you have headphones. You know, the only person that ever comes out here with headphones is Guillermo.
This is just because
what's going on, fellas?
Sorry,
what's going on, fellas?
I'm sorry, you can't.
Okay, now see, Guillermo's already going for his. Fellas, I'm trying to get you on the show. Nick, what's going on, man?
What's up, man?
What's up with you? I'm trying to get Guillermo on the show. He's already going for it.
Yo, you and Guillermo, man, bring the frying pans out and get the Vaseline.
As soon as
his body at each other's neck.
As soon as everything clears up in New York, I'm coming with some boxing gloves. You know what I mean? As soon as everything clears up, I'm coming with some boxing gloves.
No, let's get First of all, when I hit that J in your face, I don't want to hit. I'm not Isaiah, bro. I'm not Isaiah, man. I'm not taking it easy.
Okay, all I'm saying. Okay, well, just make sure you have your ankles taped really well.
Not basketball.
Oh, yeah. First of all, you actually box with like Tyson and them, so you cheating. I don't. We don't need any of that extra violence. I don't need no dirty tricks. We don't need you pulling down your glove like Tyson Fury did in that last fight. By the way, yeah. But,
just tape your ankles. That's what I'm saying. Just tape your ankles up really good. Anyway. Isaiah finally got himself right. There we go. So let's get to this conversation, man. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
You can't go first because I can't hear you.
Yeah,
can't hear you.
So,
all right, go ahead, Nick.
Let Nick go. Go, Nick.
Yeah, the argument I was making in the other show or the other chat was, ultimately, the Marcus Morris trade, and me and Guillermo was talking about this, is the thing that I always want to repeat for this team. Maximize guys' value, then trade them. I just don't want to get rid of guys before the right coach could get the best out of them. So is it Kenny Atkinson? Is it Tom Thibodeau? I don't know. But I would like to see what another coach could do with him because there have been times where Julius Randle has looked good. Julius Randle, like I said in the other one, in his price range too, the other argument is nobody except Zach LaVine is actually a number one. Everyone in that $19 million range is a number 2, 3, borderline 4 guy. Like he's being miscast as a number one. And we all remember Tim Hardaway Jr. He was terrible as a number one and he was terrible as a number 2. But actually he was okay as a number 2, I should say. In Dallas, properly cast as a number 3 and maybe number 4, he is actually very, very good for the Dallas Mavericks.
Yes. And
he may get re-signed at the same price. So a team that will make the playoffs was number 3 in the West with a lot of injuries. After the injuries, now they're 7. They're still in the playoffs. You're talking about a guy that was 18 mil miscast with the Knicks. I'm telling you, like, we do not want this guy because like right now, Tim Hardaway Jr.'s trade value is much higher than when he was with the Knicks as a number 1. And we should never look to do that. So if it's DSJ that you want to dump, it does not make sense before we get the new coach who potentially can make DSJ better. Kevin Knox, if you dump Kevin Knox while his value is low, we're getting nothing for him. Nothing. And that doesn't make sense because like a 60th pick or cap relief for Dennis Smith or Kevin Knox doesn't make sense at all. You cannot do that.
So, all right, Guillermo.
Is it me? Look, so me and Nick were talking about it, and I actually agree with the idea of you keep him one more year to see how he gels with a new coach. And
no,
a coach
no. Hold up, no. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't change up on me now.
Tim, I'm keeping the same energy. The only reason why I'm saying this is because, yes, you have to. The only thing I'm saying about him, because I still think Julius Randle is a player, given what he's produced this year, what he's done this year. Then I say produced, what he's done this year. I'm not a fan of his. So I'm not sitting here trying to switch sides. I'm not a fan of Julius Randle. Only reason why I'm saying is that you would actually, again, if you can get more trade value by having with a better coach, you could better use him. Now you see, all right, whether this guy, if he responds to possibly being benched for not making the right pass or whatever, if he responds to that, then yeah, you could trade him off later on if he doesn't fit. If you feel he doesn't fit the team, whatever. I'm just saying that. But again, if he doesn't, then you just be all right. He's just not it. But to me, I'll tell you in theory why I would not want Julius Randle on the team. When we look at Julius Randle, and this is not me being no Nick Cade or whatever. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not a fan of players, individual players, whatever. I could care less if they're not on my team. To me, Julius Randle, when I watch him, especially when I watched him last year, once AD went down, him playing that point forward position, I don't know what it was, but he gelled a lot more with those guys. When he had guys like Drew Holiday, he had Diallo, he had the light-skinned dude, not Alexander, I can't remember his damn name. Light-skinned guard on the team. I can't remember his name. He had a bunch of players, and they didn't win like that. I mean, they only won 30-something games, but he got rid of the ball quickly. He made smart decisions. He wasn't holding the ball a whole bunch to make these just odd decisions that don't make any sense. Now, I've seen, and guys in this chat, Kevon, Isaiah, have attested to this, that they've seen this in person, and we've seen this. Other guys have seen this. They've reported this on YouTube, on Twitter, where the guys calling off other players on the team, and specifically R.J. Barrett. R.J. Barrett is what we deem as a future, and this is a guy who's, for all intents and purposes, you could say he's relatively developing at a faster pace than our previous draft picks. So we think there's hope with him. When you're calling off a player, and I understand, yes, he's given his guys assists in games as well. When you're constantly calling off him, you're calling off Elfrid Payton, right? You're doing things to upset the system, even if you don't want to say it's a system. You're doing
What
this
the
to
hell
upset
system
the
did
system.
we have
And
to
we're not
upset?
winning because of that. Like when
What
I look at Julius
system did
Randle,
we
a lot
have
of
to
his
upset?
production, this is Julius Randle's effective. He makes one cut to the basket, or he's down low and he makes an aggressive play to the basket. And that's what Julius Randle I love. Julius Randle I don't like. He catches the ball, sees a double team, doesn't make the simple pass. He tries to turn around, do some LeBron James jump in the air, turn into the baseline, tries to make the beeline pass on the baseline to the other guy on the other side in the corner. And it's like those plays like that disrupt the flow of the offense, disrupt the chemistry on the team. Because like, dude, what the F are you doing?
But see, this is what I was trying to get to you.
Against the Rockets last game, play good defense. They have other games where it's like, dude, you're letting your guys score and you're not going after rebounds. You're just playing like a daze. It's like, dude, what are you doing? I don't look at points as just production. I look at his overall game, and I feel like his overall game is not conducive to making guys around him better or to making the overall results of the team better. I'm not saying he's trash.
Then what was the difference between the Pelicans and the Knicks?
After AD went down? Because I was commenting when after AD went down.
Right, and you said after AD went down, he got the ball out of his hands faster, right? He wasn't holding the ball and doing this and that and doing that, right?
No, but he was. I'm saying. So my point was that when AD went down, it wasn't as if he became more selfish and he was just hogging the ball because now you have that AD target.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't doing that. So what's the difference between the Pelicans and the Knicks?
I would say they probably, look at our organization. People come when you give people don't respect the organization. So I feel like if you get a contract here, we have coaches. Fizzo's not a good coach. Mike Miller's in flux. He doesn't know if he has a job or not. You know what I mean? So you have players who are gonna, I won't say take advantage of that, but there's less structure. But I don't need structure to tell me to make the right pass when I'm getting double teamed.
But listen, but people are gonna. But obviously some players do. Have you ever heard that? Hold up. Don't cut me off. Hold up. Do not cut me off. Don't cut me off. Have you ever heard?
He's gonna mute me though, but continue.
I didn't mute you. See, you got listen.
I said you will mute me.
Listen. Right? Have you ever heard that some people need different things, different strategies to get the best out of them? Some people need structure, some people don't. Mm-hmm. Right? Some people have different ways of learning, right? Some people learn by doing. Some people learn by reading. Some people learn by sitting and watching a teacher write it on the board and explain it and discuss it. Every player is going to be different. So you can't make it a linear thing where every player should know that you can't do this or you can't do that. Everyone needs structure. Clearly, in New Orleans, there was more structure. There was better guard play. There was a better coach, which makes all the difference in the world on a team. Those three things make a huge difference on a team. look at our guard play. How many different starting point guards did we use this season?
Fair
Right?
enough.
How many different coaches? We had 2 different coaches this season. We had one coach from the beginning of the season that tried to use Julius Randle as our primary ball handler.
Yeah, it's point forward.
Right? And then we had Frank Ntilikina at the starting point guard. We had R.J. Barrett and Alonzo Trier splitting the starting point guard the first game. We had Elfrid Payton at starting point guard. We had Dennis Smith Jr. at starting point guard. Look how many different times we switched guards. Guards in, guards out. Switch coaches. No real system.
I don't disagree.
No structure.
That's what I'm saying. My point at the beginning of this thing was that I actually agree with that point that if you put him with a better coach, you might get better production. I still would say to trade him off, but at least give him that chance to next year. But Sim, can I ask you a question? If I have both the Pelicans and the New York Knicks, I get the ball in the post or in the farther away from the post, but in that little corner spot, right? If I grab the ball, I'm playing on the Pelicans, I'm playing New York, and I see the double team coming, and I see a guy on the wing right next to me or close to me in my proximity, and I have one good coach in the Pelicans or better coach, one bad coach in the Knicks. I have one terrible point guard, a good point guard in the Pelicans and Jrue Holiday. I have influx guard play in the Knicks. But I see the same play on 2 different teams in 2 different seasons. Why is it that me making that right play on the Pelicans should be any different from making the same right play on the Knicks? When I'm in the post in the double team and I see a guy like R.J. Barrett, who's, I would say specialty, but he can slash to the basket. If I see him in that, why don't I make that pass to him, but I make it to Joe Schmo? Because I don't remember who the forwards were or the guards were. The light-skinned dude, whatever his name, Alexander, whatever on the Pelicans. I can't remember his damn name. Why is it that I make that pass to Alexander, but I don't make it to RJ, and it's the same identical play?
I'm going to tell you why, and this is in my opinion. When every team begins in the beginning of the season, right? Every team begins. You start off and you start developing team habits. Whatever that coach is asking you to do, however that coach is asking you to play, you start developing team habits. All right? And then you start using those habits throughout the season. Now, am I saying that he can't get the ball out faster? Of course he could. But maybe with the Pelicans, they didn't use him in the post as much as they did this season. So you didn't see it.
They did use him in the post, and he was making those passes.
Right, but maybe not as much as they did, or maybe it was also faster. And maybe the system that they used allowed it so he wasn't getting double teamed as much. So he did not have to pass the ball out of the double team.
On and off the court, I don't know what the numbers are, but I would probably bet it's drastically different because the offense, again, slowed down with Julius Randle when he was on the court versus when he was off the court. Again, you're not. Let me
ask you. Did he get double teamed with the Pelicans?
You don't need a coach to tell you this.
Bro, did he get double teamed? Did he get double teamed as much with the Pelicans as he did with the Knicks? Because there's a learning curve there.
When AD was not there,
when AD was there or not there, I can guarantee. I bet you he did not, because he didn't have the ball in his hands as much. He didn't have the ball in his hands as much with the Pelicans. Jrue Holiday had the ball in his hands. Come on, bro. Jrue Holiday
was not. Hold up, Sim. When AD got hurt,
no,
or whatever,
Jrue Holiday had the ball in his hands.
But Sim, it wasn't just Jrue Holiday always dribbling up the ball.
I know, but Jrue Holiday was still making it. I guarantee you, he did not get double teamed like he did with the Knicks. So there is a learning curve on when and how to get the ball out as fast.
You don't have any facts. You're just saying that. I literally watched games from the Pelicans last year.
I watched games too. As soon as they signed him, I went and watched games. So I could see how he played, and he did not get double teamed with the Pelicans as much as he did with the Knicks. I'm not saying that he does not have to learn how to pass the ball out. What I'm saying is the opportunities weren't there with the Pelicans.
Fair enough. He doesn't make that play. Fair enough. So when you are sucking at that same play, and you're holding the ball, letting the double team come to you, and then trying to make the stupid play and at least the turnovers. First of all, it's the coach's responsibility to take him out the damn game. But okay, that does not happen. Where's the onus on Julius Randle? Does he need a Hall of Fame point guard to say, "Hey, bro, make the proper pass"? That's not a good pass. That's not a system play,
bro. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you still have to give a player a chance to learn it if they haven't been doing it all the time. The guy's 25 years. Bro, he's 25 years old. You tell me he still does not have stuff to learn? He's still, I don't care. He still has stuff to learn. He has not always been the primary player. This is first year trying to be a primary player. There is an adjustment to make. Let's see if he does the same thing next year. Let's see if he goes back and looks at video. Let's see if he goes back and looks at video and works on it during the offseason.
But these guys could literally play in the NBA for 7 years. Don't matter if you came in 18 or not. You play in the NBA for 7 years. Am I sitting here saying that you should run the triangle?
It all depends on your role. It all depends on your role.
Complicated. You literally just make a proper basketball play.
Bro, but I'm saying, okay.
Does that make the proper basketball play?
I can guarantee you.
RJ Barrett. You're literally calling off RJ Barrett, who's open, because you don't want to pass him. Him and Alfred Payton do that crap.
Let me ask you. All of his years in the NBA, did he play the role that he played now?
Oh.
The years he played with the Lakers, what he's playing now, in the post, he played more of when he was with the Lakers. What he played with the Lakers when he first played with the Lakers is more what he's playing now with the Knicks with Miller. The point forward position was more of a Pelicans thing, but when he was with the Lakers, he was more using a post foul line area. So he's basically playing like the two ends are very similar to each other.
What I'm saying is his time. He did not play the same. He did not play the same position that he's playing now. He did not do the same things or have the same responsibility. I'm trying to say when he's not at what position. What I'm saying is he did not have the same responsibilities that he has now. And I'm not saying he deserves those responsibilities and can handle being the number one player. He is not. I do not believe that means he's not a good role player or player that can be a good piece of a team.
I'm not saying.
I believe that he can be a good piece of a team.
How can Julius Randle be such a? How can you see into the future so much of him being this good role player in a team when after 7 years he can't make a simple? I'm not talking about you have to be a point forward. He can't make that simple pass. Well, after 7 years, you're talking about
because he's playing in a position he does not need to play in. Maybe he does not need to be the guy that touches the ball every time down the floor, right? Exactly. And also, I mean, you look at like the Pelicans. Why did he not do the same things on the Pelicans? They also had shooters that wouldn't send a double team all the time.
Yeah, but Sim, okay, but I made this example so many times. I said with a guy coming off the wing, you can catch the ball. If his guy comes, and you know why they double team Julius Randle a lot? Because they know he's not going to make the right pass.
And they also double team him because we have no shooters. No. Isaiah, go ahead, man.
No, that's not it. I'm not saying.
They do. They don't double team him because we don't have shooters?
I'm saying partially. If you do the same, you know why it's so tough to double team Jokic? Because Jokic can make the right pass and he can make the ridiculously good pass in terms of vision.
That's not a good comparison.
I'm not saying it's the same. I'm just saying why guys double team and sometimes why they don't. Yes, we don't have the shooters, so you might double team, but also you're going to double team a guy who makes dumb decisions when he has the ball. If Julius Randle, Sim, fair enough. We don't have the shooters, fair enough. But we also have guys who, I'm not saying they do at a high clip, but you have guys who are at least capable of slash to the basket, at least getting to the basket, pushing the issue so that if the double team now comes and that guy slash to the basket, Julius Randle might actually get the ball right back. If the defense breaks down and now the guy driving to the basket is their basket, guys double team him, he has another option, another guy's open, or Julius Randle might actually be open for the little slip pass down low. So Julius Randle, in that play itself, he's messing up the flow of the offense. But you sat here and said that he could be a role player. How can he be a role player if in your role, you're not doing your role? And I'm not saying here
because maybe his role is not this on a better team. Go ahead, Isaiah. Go ahead, Isaiah.
So many excuses for this guy, bro.
Okay. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second, Isaiah. No. I don't understand how my opinion is an excuse. It's my opinion. It's my opinion. My opinion is not an excuse. It's my opinion, my ideas. Just because the guy didn't play perfect this year doesn't mean that he can't do something different with a better coach, a better system, a better point guard, and you might see a different player the same way he did with the Pelicans. Go ahead, Isaiah. And yes, I did mute you because you never stopped talking. Go ahead, Isaiah.
You know what's crazy? It's just
still talking. Go ahead, man.
I'll be completely honest with you, Sam. I mean, I'm personally with dumping him. I don't really think he fits what this team should be or where we're going from what he does. Again, to me, I do agree with Guillermo with the part of, listen, man, if you're in the league, I wholeheartedly don't care. If you're in the league for 7 years, there are certain things you shouldn't be doing.
What, freeze?
People, you can take that from every day to NBA being professional. If you're doing something for 7 years and you still screwing up at something like that, then that's unexcusable. You know what I'm saying? Him spinning in the double teams, him not doing the right pass with getting double teamed and everything, that's still unexcusable in my opinion. Him looking off players, and which we all talked about it, RJ Bear, which I think a lot of us, and this has been a growing amount of people, Sam, that have agreed that RJ and Randle don't mess with each other. They just don't.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, there's physical evidence to show otherwise, but I'll let you go ahead with that. There's a growing amount of people that believe a lot of stuff. It doesn't mean it's always right. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, there's physical evidence to prove otherwise. You can go find it. There's evidence to prove otherwise. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's. I mean, people always want to come up with these little things. They didn't like each other. They don't like each other. I think that's just.
But Sim, though, there's a lot of evidence
if you want to say that they didn't mesh well on the basketball court, I get it, right? Okay, they don't mesh. You don't think they mesh? I respect it, but let's not just start something and say, "Oh, they don't like each other." Come on, man. That's just rumor baiting to me. That's just rumor baiting. That's reality TV stuff to me.
I'm gonna say this, and I think once Julius Randle gets traded next year, I just think the team's going to be a lot better. I personally think that, and the team's going to actually be able to play like they want to play.
Okay, I mean, you know what? There were times when Julius Randle didn't play this year, and they didn't play much better.
That's one game out of 82.
I mean, he was out for 3-4 games, and they didn't play well. I mean, and they didn't play well with him. What I'm saying, I'm not saying that they played this much better with him. I'm saying they were the same thing.
To be honest, though, sir, I just don't see. I personally don't see. Maybe I don't see what you see in him. I personally don't see it. I just don't think he's a good match for the team in a way I think the team should play.
We don't even know what the team is going to be next year.
No, I know. I just don't think he fits well with the young Knicks team, honestly, with the youngins.
We'll see. I mean, I just think
there's a difference between Frank and Julius Randle.
Say that again?
No, I'm sorry. Nick was saying something that I didn't agree with. Because there's a huge difference between Frank and Julius Randle. There's a difference.
Well, all right. Well, let me get the big freezy. Hold on 1 second, Big Freeze. One second. Let me get you. Go ahead, Freeze.
Hey, what's up, fam? Peace in the chat.
What's going on with you, man?
Yo, Blackest Time.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, man. So I heard some of the points and stuff, man. I'm more leaning towards your point about Randle, just because, I think. He hadn't been in that role before, and it probably does take a little time. We have to groom him in that role. And it's not like our franchise had been rock steady anyway. You brought in all these moving parts to play along with Randle. And I just think it'd probably take a little time for that to mesh. As far as the spin move thing go, hey, bro, ain't no excuse for that one.
Ain't no excuse for it all. He don't know when to use it.
Right.
He don't know when to use it. Right. Uses it every single wrong time. Every time.
Right. I agree with you on that, man, because he had Elfrid Payton and Drew Holiday, you know what I'm saying, and a veteran coach. You know what I'm saying? So he had some things in his favor to help him out, as opposed to this year when we know Fizdale was absolutely trash. And Mike Miller came in and did the best he could do, you know what I'm saying, understand, considering the circumstances and such. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on the Randle thing. I would say I'm leaning towards keeping him just for the mere fact that we need stability. You know what I'm saying? We can't just trade our best player every chance we get. I mean, it's ridiculous. And we already did that once this year already. We already traded Moot. And then before that, we traded KP. You know what I'm saying? And before that, we traded Melo. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when do you stop, shifting, sending pieces off and just decide to get a system in place and try to get some stability?
Yeah, I don't even think he's going to be if he's here for the entire 3 years. I don't think he'll be the best player.
Right.
I think I feel pretty confident he's going to be here next year. Right. We'll see what happens in the draft.
Yep.
But RJ Barrett is going to continue to ascend, and when RJ Barrett continues to ascend, he's gonna take over that spot as the best player. And then if we get another player, he'll be the we get another player that's a better player. He's gonna continue to move down in that pecking order. You know what I'm saying? And then you have to see, okay, can he handle? Does he understand and does he know? I mean, this year he was trying to be, and you could see him trying too hard to be the guy.
And I think he get a bad rap too, man, because there's some games this year for all the Knicks fans that say they watched all these games. There was some times this year, like the Atlanta overtime game, that Julius Randle actually stepped up and carried us. You know what I'm saying? He actually carried the team. And us, man, there were times where the ball was getting fumbled around, all kind of stuff. He just got the ball, man, and just took over games and just led us to victory. And I'm not saying he happened. We only won like 21 games, so I'm not saying it happened all year. But there was times this year when my man stepped his game up. Now there were times where he looked lost, like when we played top notch. When we played the Bucks, when we played who was it we played? Was it the Sixers? There was a few games where they were playoff caliber teams where I felt like it was his time to step up. He didn't. Whatever.
Yeah, right.
It is what it is. The whole team is bad.
Yeah, and there were plenty of times when he was just terrible. He was shooting it from three when he shouldn't have been shooting it from three, spinning in the lane, obviously turning the ball over, 5, 6, 7 turnovers. But hey, Freezy, let me get to a phone call, all right?
Right. Word.
Give me a call, ladies and gentlemen, 516-405-2246. I just missed someone who was trying to call in, but call back in and I got you, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I want to hear what you're thinking. I only got a couple minutes, so I want to hear what you're thinking on the entire subject. All right. So give me a call, 516-405-2246. My voice is hurting. You know what I'm saying? But I want to hear what you guys got to say. And let me see. State of New York Knicks podcast. First time on the show, man. So I'm going to get you in here while I'm waiting for a phone call. Can you hear me? I don't know if he can hear me. He can't hear me. Let me get the Mark then. Mark, can you hear me? All right, while we're waiting for a call. Mark, what's good, brother? How you feeling?
You can hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, hold on. Let me mute everybody real quick.
Yeah, mute them guys out.
What's going on? What's going on, bro?
I'm good, man. How you been? You been in and out lately?
Because, I've been working on some things and, I've been, catching up on sleep. So, things has been busy on my side. Cramming things in my head. But
be careful
what's
out
going
there,
on, man?
Be careful out there.
Yeah, of course. Of course. They ain't going to shut the whole New York City down, but,
we'll see what's going to happen. We don't know. But go ahead, man.
All right, listen. I was the first one. Listen, I'm not going to come down on Julius Randle, right? I'm not going to do this repetitive thing. But all I'm going to say is that for the assets that we have, for the type of players we do have, we need to play at an abdominal pace that he doesn't allow us to play when he's on the floor, because he's more of a half-court guy and he likes to, walk up the court. We have a lot of guys that depend on, getting into fast breaks and playing with a lot of pace to suit their game. Because we're in a dilemma here, right? You see, like, I could understand if Randle was valuable enough to even be talking in this type of space, where it's like if he stays, if he goes, it's a problem. No, he holds no value to what he can be with the Knicks. There's none, because he's not a good spacer. Number one, he's not a good spacer, Sim. Especially for the type of players that we have on this floor. He's not a spacer, and the most important player for us is RJ. So everything has to revolve around him when it comes to the Knicks now. Okay? That was a decision made when we did all those trades, and we got him in the third pick. Because of the style of play that RJ plays, we need him to flourish more than Randle. Because I told you, Randle's ceiling is, to me, it's capped. He is what he is for a 7th-year player. Okay? He's an NBA rotational player. He's an NBA rotational player. He can play the game, but not for this team, not for the young players that we have that need superior development. And we're going to need a player to help them develop. I could understand if Randle helped them develop in a way. I'd be like, okay, we could continue to go with Randle. But Sim, he has selfish ways of his game. Okay, when you play
He's
a game
still
of
developing
basketball,
himself. He is still developing himself. He is still learning how to play the game. I don't care about this 7. Everyone wants to talk about the 7 years in the league. I don't care about that.
Let me finish. I watch enough games where he gets into double team, Sim, where he I always say this, touch the ball, but give it up. You might get it back. When he gets the ball, he just goes into his one motion. Sometimes when you get the ball, it's not for you.
You're right.
It's not for you to always do you. Okay? It's not.
You're right.
And again, he's surrounded by young guys, not vets, younger guys. He has to learn. If he stays
exactly, that is the exact words right there. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. That's the exact words. Hold on, let me get to a phone call. I want to get some. I'm gonna come back to you. I want to get to some phone calls. All right, because I know you're gonna be here. The phone calls might go off, but that's the exact words. You have to learn development. He's still a young guy that can develop. 27 years old, then you're like, okay, maybe that's it. He's at the peak of his powers. He's still ascending to me. He still can ascend more, and it's going to take the right discipline and the right coach around him, because all the things you said, Mark, are exactly right. He should pass the ball out. He has to learn to get the ball out faster. He has to learn to recognize those things. And sometimes being put in that position for the first time, maybe there's an adjustment there. And maybe it's not an adjustment. Maybe he just can't do it. But I think we owe him a year to see, can he make the adjustment? Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yeah, what's up, Sam?
What's good, brother? How you feeling?
Yeah, what's up? This is Howard from Brooklyn, man. Long time listener, man. It's first time I finally get through, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, man.
I didn't even expect this show to go this long.
You hear me?
Yeah, I didn't even expect this show to go this long. But, I guess it's a hotly contested topic, and we got a lot of players on this team. So there's going to be a lot of hotly contested topics about some of these players.
Man, I tell you, man, this is the first program that I know that somebody that scored 19 points, man, and they want to get rid of him, man.
I don't know. I mean, you know what? Here's one thing, and me and Guillermo was having this conversation. It wasn't even a conversation. It was more of an argument. You guys should have heard me and Guillermo when we should have recorded before we got on live onto this show. You should have got that one. Yeah, we'll talk about it. It was funny. But anyway.
I'm keeping Randle, man, because when he was with the Pelicans, he played a different role, man. He was the small ball 5 coming off the bench. He was effective doing that, man. Whenever he attacked the basket, man, he was like unstoppable, man. On the Knicks, They wanted him to be like Draymond Green. That's something that he just can't do.
Right. He can't do it. He can't do it. And like you just said, he scored 19 points a game. And then I'm looking at Khalid in the chat said, Randle 19 points is the most emptiest stats ever. See, this is what I cannot stand that. Everyone always says empty stats doesn't affect winning. Could you pose this question to that guy?
So did what was Marcus Morris' stats? They was empty stats. He scored. He shot over 40 from 3. And what was their record?
Right, exactly. That's my point exactly. When you're playing for a bad team, everyone's stats. If you want to say empty, there's only one time when I think there's empty stats. Maybe 2 times when I'll say they're empty stats. When you're down, when it's a 30-point game and someone is, they go out when it's a blowout and no one's really playing and they score, 20 points in the fourth quarter, 10 points in the fourth quarter. That's an empty stat, in my opinion, right? Melo, who is my man. I love Carmelo Anthony. He used to get empty rebounds, in my opinion, right? Where he'd go up, miss it, and he'd get like 5 rebounds in a row to make it, and it looked like he had a whole bunch of offensive rebounds. That was kind of empty. Okay.
I mean, if you want to go there, I mean, I love Russell Westbrook, but a lot of them rebounds he used to get was empty stats.
But when someone
used to have him rebound.
Yeah, but like when someone is, in the midst of a game, a close game, is scoring 20 points and 10 rebounds, right? In the midst of a close game, whether or not you win those games or lose those games, those points mean something during that game. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's dumb when people say it's empty stats when someone, when talk about someone's overall averages. I can understand an empty 10 points when it's a 20-point or 30-point lead in the fourth quarter. That's empty.
I was going to say, not to cut you off, but I would like you to ask the panel, what would the Knicks record be if they had Drew Holiday as a point guard?
Yeah. I agree with you. And they can hear you. I don't know if they're, they're kind of having a conversation themselves, but they can hear you. I mean, I agree with you. Listen, I don't think that Julius Randle is a perfect player. He makes a lot of mistakes. Plenty of mistakes. Okay? Plenty of mistakes. I think part of it was, part of it is, his own court awareness. He does not have good court awareness. He doesn't have a high basketball IQ. Right? But that's where that's where you got to have a point guard that can control the situation. That's what you were bringing up with Drew Holiday. But hey, my man, I appreciate the call. Hopefully I'll get a couple more people to call in. All right. Appreciate it, man. I'm glad you called. Hopefully you call back.
All right, bro.
All right. Peace. Yeah, this thing with empty stats, man, I just don't get it, man. Everyone says they don't affect winning. Tell me one player on the Knicks team that did affect winning. Nobody, because we didn't win. If that's the way that you want to put it, to me that's senseless. Doesn't make sense. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's popping?
Yo, what up, Sim? How's everything, my man?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling?
Good. Can I just talk about Randle for a minute?
Yeah. That's the whole show is about Randle. The whole show.
Yeah, I know. It's been good. I like with you and Guillermo, the little, back and forth. It was, what I think it is with Randle? He doesn't fit for this team because we desperately need a shooter at that 4 spot, and he's not it.
Well, he doesn't shoot.
Randle, we need a stretch 4. Whether it's through the draft or free agency, he's not a stretch 4. Especially if Mitch, the problem is Mitch, to me, him and RJ are two, if you had to say, are two, future pieces. Those are probably, I'm sure the main 2 you would say, right? So to make those 2 better, you got to have shooters around them. How much easier it would be for Mitch to roll to the hoop if you had a knockdown shooter at the 4, and for RJ to do what he does if he had a shooter at the shooting guard spot, where I know he's been playing the 2, but to me, RJ should be a 3. He can run some points forward as well. We need a shooter at that 4 in the worst way. He's not that. I don't think he ever will be. So it's just not a fit for this team. It's not.
Now I seen someone, White Falcon. You said Randle can shoot. He shot 27.7% from three. He's not really a shooter from three. Now that was one of the things that they thought maybe he was going to be able to take his game to another level this year.
I think he shot like decent, like 33%.
30, yeah, like 33%.
New Orleans, I think, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
From three?
Yeah.
But no, it's just not a fit with this team, man. Especially if Mitch was a guy who, could shoot from deep, and even though he shows it in warm-ups and whatnot, but in the game he don't shoot it, so that would be different. But, with Mitch just at this point in his career, just being, a dunker really, we got to have a guy who can knock down threes at that four. We need that. Who is that?
I understand that you got to have a guy that can knock down that can knock down threes at that four position. He can't really knock down threes. I don't think that means that I don't think that means you dump him or get rid of him. I think you find other ways to work around it, which is part of the reason why. Is he a shoo-in to start next year at center or no? We don't know yet.
I would hope so. I think he should. I think he should.
Well, I want him to start next year. I didn't think he was ready to start this year, but I think next year, he should be ready. He should be ready, I think.
Yeah, I would think so. So to bring out the best in him, don't you agree that we need a knockdown shooter at that four spot?
Either a knockdown shooter. If you don't have a knockdown shooter at the four spot, it's not all about like spreading the floor for Mitch. It's not all about if you have knockdown shooters. It's not all about that. Spreading the floor and spacing the floor is about where you position yourself on the floor. Randle has to learn to position himself better on the floor. A lot of times, and I don't know if this was the coaching or if this is Randle. We'll see. But he would be in the short corner. So the short corner, just to kind of let you know where it is, it's along the baseline, kind of halfway between the three-point line and the box. Right? That's the short corner. Randle, a lot of times, even if Mitchell Robinson was rolling to the basket or someone penetrated to the basket, he'd kind of hang in that short corner area, maybe looking for a dump off or something like that. So, he could have spaced himself all the way out. Like, for example, remember when R.J. Barrett scored against Houston, those two points against Houston? Right? Mm-hmm. There was nobody in the short corners. Everybody was spaced out along that three-point line. And it did not matter that you didn't have knockdown three-point shooters. It was about where people positioned their bodies on the floor. And then R.J. Barrett had lane to penetrate to the basket. Okay? That was because that's what they designed. And that's what they did. Yeah. So R.J. Barrett got to the basket. Now, once he gets to the basket and the ball goes up in the air, then you can have your rebounders crash. Okay? So a lot of it, to me, with Randle, is not just about shooting the three. It's also about positioning yourself on the floor. And right now, he really positions himself in that short corner. And when he positions himself in that short corner, a lot of times it doesn't work, right? Because his defender is still there. So he has to move out further. Whether or not he can knock down that three, he can make it enough that teams will respect it. So if he gets out, listen, I can guarantee you, if Randle is in the corner, his player is not going to be in the paint. He can't. Yeah. That's going to be illegal defense. Okay? So he still has to be out within 2 to 3 feet of Julius Randle, which is going to open up the lane. That's any player. All right? So a lot of spacing is not just about shooting. It's about positioning on the floor. And he always positions himself in the short corner waiting for the dump off, where he needs to be in another spot when someone else is trying to penetrate to the basket.
Right. But from a roster perspective, don't you think, we would be better with, say, a Christian Wood or Bertans from Washington? Those are two guys shooting over 40% from three. I think Way would be a way better fit on this team than Julius Randle. Those are two free agents. I think we need to try and get one of those two here. I do.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
We need a shooter at the two. And then we need move RJ to the three. We desperately need shooting at the 2 and the 4 spot. So that's what I try and get in this all season. Then I guess you get your point guard or whatnot in the draft, and then off you go. We got to get some shooters here, man. Especially if RJ and Mitch are future pieces. and I don't know if they're ever going to be knockdown shooters. You know what I mean? So to make those guys grow, I think that's what we need around them. It would help them a ton.
Well,
you know what
one
I mean?
last thing. Answer me this in just 20 seconds. Answer me this question. If Mitch never develops that outside shot, what's his future in the league?
What's his DeAndre Jordan-ish? A guy can still get you 12
does he have? If he never develops that outside shot, how long does he last in the league? Because DeAndre Jordan was DeAndre Jordan back, 7-8 years ago. The league was a little bit different. It was changing towards this, but it was different.
Right. I think Mitch's can be a little better even because I think he's way more athletic and he can also get blocks on the perimeter and whatnot. I don't think Jordan, I know he would get blocks, but I don't look at Jordan as ever being that he was ever some great defender. I think he'll just get blocks just because he's a big guy. I think, if even that's all he is, we got him in second round, even if this is all he is, I'll take it. I think he can still be a starting player, but he's just got to have the right guys around him. You know what I mean? And to me, that's shooters.
All right.
Just make his job
hey,
easier.
let me get to a couple more phone calls, man.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good night, all right?
All right, you too.
All right, man.
Peace. Caller, you're on live with Nothing But Knicks. What's poppin'?
What's up, sir? Can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. How are you? I just want to say what's up to the community. Hope everyone's staying safe, quarantine.
Hey, I can't hear you, man. Can you maybe speak a little closer to the mic and maybe turn it down in the back?
Yeah, I just turned off the screen.
Okay, there you
Can you
go.
hear me better now?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I just want to wish everybody, hope everybody doing good at the crib, quarantining and chilling, and stay safe.
Yeah. Appreciate that, man. Hopefully the same with you. Everybody's safe and good.
Appreciate it. Let's get to this Randle. So I've been watching Randle his whole career since his first game when he broke his leg. So let's not even talk about the years because this man hasn't even played all 7 of his years. And every single year of his career, he has been improving. People have really been criticizing Randle. I see a lot of memes about how low his IQ is. But just like you said, that's the reason I was agreeing with you in the chat. He's learning his role. Every single year he's had a different role in his career and he's been adapting to it, and the learning curve is not that easy going from, a young player to becoming the franchise player of the Knicks. That's not that easy, Now,
I agree with you. It's not easy at all. You know what I mean? People, everyone.
That's why I give Randle his credit because he actually wants to be here. A lot of players don't accept that challenge. He's willing to be here and he's willing to accept the challenge of playing for these bright lights,
Yeah, let me see. So, like you said, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So actually, this is so. So here you go. Everyone is saying that it's Randle's 7th year, and actually, it's not. Right? Randle's been in. This is his 6th season, and his first season he only played one game.
One game, half a game.
Played half a game his first season. All right, he played 13 minutes in that game. Right. So basically his rookie season was 15-16. So he's been in the league. This is his 5th year in the league.
Pretty much.
Okay, so going into his first year, his real first year, 15-16, he averaged 11 points, 10 rebounds. 16-17, 13 points, 8.6 rebounds. 17-18, he averaged 16 points, 8 rebounds. And then in 18-19, he averaged 21.4 points and 8.7 rebounds. This year's 19.7 points and 9.7 rebounds. He had 1 year where he averaged 3.6 assists. This year he's averaging 3.1 assists. Again, he's averaging 3 turnovers to go along with it.
The turnovers, he needs to chill on that spin move. Like I said, I've been watching him his whole career, and it really gets me tight when he makes that spin move because I know what's about to happen. But that's his go-to. He loves going left.
So,
But I have a question.
Who knows, man?
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you could, this is a hot topic right here. This is because when you asked me the question back I don't know if people are going to agree, but I see it. So who would you compare Julius Randle to, like, from the past? For anyone in the past, who would you compare Julius Randle to?
That's a good question. I have to think about that one. I'm not sure.
You want me to start it off?
Yeah, go ahead. Who do you compare him to?
So let's say like a younger version of Zebo.
Okay.
Remember when Zebo was on the Knicks? That's when he was more of a vet at that time, and that's when he had a jump shot. But Randle is slowly getting a jump shot. He's slowly being able to space the court. You got to see the future. You got to be able to see that over time, if we develop him correctly, he might have the potential to space the floor. And he's a bull down low. You just have to find a way. Just like you said, he shouldn't have the ball that much. He shouldn't be ISO on the top of a key. Like, that's not his. That's what he wants to do. Like one of the callers said, he is kind of like hungry, you know. Because like you said too, he wants to improve. He wants to show how much he can play. But like that's not what's best for the team. He needs to just be given the ball in the paint or pass out, space the floor. All that dribbling, you need to cut that out. He can't be doing that on the regular. That's why he's not a number one option.
Yeah, he and right, he has to learn. He has to learn that, right? He has to learn, that's court awareness. When is it my time to go? When is it not my time to go? When do I give up the ball? All those things, he has to learn how to do that. I think this year he was pushing, trying to be that star player.
Yeah, well, he should, because this is an opportunity for him. He needs to better himself. He's the vet on the team. He's a franchise player right now until we get RJ to where he needs to be.
Yeah, so, but anyway, hey, my man, I appreciate the call.
Ready,
saying thank you for calling in. Hopefully, you continue to call in.
Hey, you ready? Oh, Lenny, Long Island, we out here. Love.
All right, man. And just for the record, and I know the guys in the chat aren't listening to me. That's cool. I'm looking at the on-court, off-court numbers. All right, so let's look at these numbers just a little bit. All right, looking at the numbers this year on the court, the Knicks' offensive rating when Julius Randle was on the court is 107.8. Not that much better. Not that much better. And the opponent's team offensive rating was 113 when Julius Randle was on the court. When Julius Randle was off the court, the offensive rating for the Knicks was 105.7. And the opposing team's offensive rating was 114.1. So I'm interested to hear how people explain that one. All right. I want to hear how people explain that one. I'm going to start with Nick. Nick, I'm going to come to you, Nick. All right. Hopefully Nick can hear me. Nick, can you hear me, Nick?
Yeah, I hear you now. Let me mute everybody else.
Okay. Let me ask you this. All right. I want to get your ideas on this because, people talk about his defense. Okay. So I'm looking at the on-court, off-court numbers, and I'm pretty sure people will say, it doesn't mean anything, da-da-da. But, we'll take it for what it is. On the court, the Knicks' offensive rating is 107.8. That's when Julius Randle's on the court. When they're off the court, their offensive rating is 105.7. Okay, so their offensive rating is better when Julius Randle's on the court. When Julius Randle is on the court, the opponent's offensive rating is 113. Okay, and when Julius Randle is off the court, the opponent's offensive rating is 114.1. All right, so they're a little bit better defensively when he's on the court.
Yeah.
What do you take from that? Because everyone says, he's terrible defensively. When he's off the floor, they play better defensively and all of this and that. But the numbers aren't saying that.
So normally when you break down numbers like that, it boils down to, one, do you score more with the player on the floor? So the other team has to check out and you can set your defense up a little bit better. So Julius Randle, of course, he helps put the ball in the hole, right? So he scores. at a higher clip than the young guys, at least the way they played this year.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have to look at the fact of who he's on the court with. So let's just take a wild guess and let's say if he had averaged more minutes with Mitchell Robinson next to him, it would look good. He had moments where Frank Ntilikina was starting, so that would beef up his stats a little bit too. All in all, I don't think that's really a good indicator of whether or not he's a good or bad defensive player. I think that the better proof is there were moments where you saw a gradual improvement in his actual defense ability as the season went along, and we had a top 5-ish defense at periods.
Mm-hmm.
And Julius Randle actually played well. He blocked the shot. He blocked shots. When a player isn't naturally a good defensive player, the best metrics to look at is blocks and also steals, and to see if they're making a markable improvement. And he didn't make long-term improvement. He just made incremental improvement.
So you said let's look at blocks and steals. Now with blocks,
yeah, it's poor.
With Julius Randle on the floor, the Knicks averaged 8.5 blocks. With Julius Randle off the floor, the Knicks averaged 10.7 blocks. With steals,
that's Mitch. That's a lot with Mitch.
Right. That's because Mitch is in with that second unit, right? And then with steals, with Julius Randle on the floor, the Knicks averaged 7.9 steals per game. And with him off the floor, they averaged 7.3 steals per game.
About the same.
I mean, and it's the same thing with the opponent's offensive rating. It's about the same. So when he's off the floor, the Knicks give up 114 points. When he's on the floor, they give up 113 points. That's negligible, right? That's pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same.
He's not changing life for you on defense. I mean, the thing is that all our young guys, and this is what I said months ago, when you build a team, you have to build teams around guys who play offense and defense.
Right. I agree.
Everyone wants to keep Frank Ntilikina and get rid of this guy and keep this guy. Look, Frank struggles on defense. There are moments in time where our offense pace is very slow with Frank Ntilikina. Why should we defend a guy that everyone in this chat has gone on and said that he's a backup when we don't even have a starter yet? Yeah. Same thing for Julius Randle. Like, Julius Randle is miscast. When we talk about Tim Hardaway Jr., Tim Hardaway Jr. is properly cast by a hard-nosed coach who tells him what he wants and puts him in the right position. He has the right requisite talent around him. The unfortunate part is the Knicks are not in a place to put the right talent around Julius Randle fast enough to make him good before he leaves. And that's the unfortunate part. And it's lack of foresight by Steve Mills, Scott Perry. It's just team construction is not appropriate for a guy like Randle. And he is definitely not a number one.
Yeah, no, definitely not. I mean, I just find, everyone so much, he kills the team. With him on the floor and off the floor, they score a little bit better defensively. They say he doesn't give up the ball, but the assists are pretty much the same.
Let me ask you one question, Sim, because this is something that everyone likes to argue, is that do you believe the young guys would develop better with Julius Randle being away from the team permanently?
Permanently?
That's the $1 million question.
It's hard to say. I don't know what it is in the locker room. I don't think on the court it's going to impact it as much. If he was an issue in the locker room, which I don't know either way, then I think it would, like, let's say we knew Julius Randle's an issue in the locker room. He has an attitude, then I think that would impact. Then I think that would impact it. If he has a great locker room attitude, then you take him away, that might impact their development. On the court, though, I've seen him play when he's not there. You know what I mean? And I didn't see anything to say, this is going to, these guys, I mean, who's in his position that's going to come in and all of a sudden, you're going to see this guy explode and explore. What I did see was when Marcus Morris was gone, I seen the ball in RJ Barrett's hands more. Right?
Yeah.
People wanted to talk about the usage rate between Elfrid Payton, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett, while RJ Barrett was second on the team in usage rating. Right? And he may have went up a few more ticks when Marcus Morris was gone. Right?
Yeah.
So that was one area where I seen where it really did help RJ Barrett, because now he had the ball in his hands and he could do more things with the ball. You know what I'm saying? And it was split between RJ Barrett and Julius Randle. Now, Julius Randle and Elfrid Payton, I did see where Elfrid Payton went to Julius Randle too much, I thought.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But,
and where we needed him to spread the ball around a little bit more too.
The Ringer just had something weeks ago where they made an argument that the way the NBA is going right now, you absolutely cannot have no more than two guys who cannot shoot on the floor.
True.
So it's imperative that everyone on the floor be able to shoot. I hear everyone trying to make arguments for defensive players consistently, right? And the way the league is set up, and I'm telling you guys, the way the league is going, every team is going more towards offense and figuring out defense. The idea that we actually could have a somewhere near a rank number 5 in defense with Julius Randle on the team, I don't feel like his defense is so bad that it actually that we can't figure out defense, because people like to defend Frank or defend to knock somebody else. Like, we could figure defense out. I don't feel like I still don't understand how come we didn't use, and this is my problem, the coaching lineups where we should have had Bullock, Dotson on the court. If you say RJ and let's say Knox at the 4, and then we just run with Mitch at the 5. Like, how come those weren't the lineups? Because we have to get like real NBA teams are running no less than two no more than 2 non-shooters on the floor. This is a league-wide thing. If you have Randle and also have RJ on the court, you can't have Mitch on the court. So then everyone else has to be able to reliably shoot. That means Frank can't be on the court with them. He doesn't average the shot good enough. Like, and that's league-wide stuff. When you talk about across the board, everyone is going towards that kind of stuff. Like, defense is so de-emphasized, and like, I saw Frank try to play hard-nosed defense, be in people's face, and get in foul trouble. He cannot do that. Same thing for Mitch. Like, the league is not actually allowing you to play the kind of defense that these guys actually are good at. And then on the flip side, Mitch is not creating any jump shots. He's not taking jump shots. So that means the lane is clogged for RJ. That means, let's say Dennis Smith, the lane is clogged because Julius Randle and then Mitchell Robinson is clogging the lane. Like, it doesn't add up from a team building standpoint, the arguments that some people are trying to make on keep this guy, get rid of that guy, when we need spacing and to play modern NBA basketball. Some of the things just doesn't add up. And a lot of people are trying to keep everybody and get like Chris Paul, get this guy, get that guy, when it doesn't make sense. We can't get all those guys and keep the cap space. The cap may go down. Like, we got to think beyond some of the stuff that some of these guys are making arguments for.
I feel you. Well, hey, Nick, I'm about to get out of here. And just one thing, RJ Barrett, defensively, I think he really showed, and I'm just speaking. He really showed he could play defense, man. The Knicks with RJ Barrett on the court, actually, yeah. Wait a minute, Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
They're better with him off.
So on the court, the team's offensive rating is 107.3. The opponent's offensive rating is 116.5. Off the court, the team's offensive rating is 106.8, so they're better offensively with him on the floor. But the opponent's offensive rating is 109.9. Take from it what you will. The team's assist rate, the Knicks' assist percentage also goes up when RJ Barrett's off the floor. That's just some things to look at.
Can you point out the numbers with Frank and also the pace with Frank? Because I don't think everyone grasps the lack of what Frank does to make.
This doesn't show the pace, but I can pull up his
on-off
numbers, but it doesn't show the pace on and off the floor. So let me see. Let me get that up here.
Because when you don't have pace, you lose possessions.
Right.
And that's something that people have to realize. Like, you need as many possessions as possible to be modern on offense.
All right. So Frank Ntilikina, let me look at his on-off numbers. So this year, Frank Ntilikina, when he was on the floor, the team's offensive rating was 107.9, and their assist percentage was 55.9. So they assisted on 55.9% of their baskets. The opponent's offensive rating was 111.1. All right, when Frank Ntilikina off the court, the offensive rating for the team was 106.6, and the opponent's offensive rating was 114.7. So they were definitely better with him on the floor defensively. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. Well, let me get to these guys here, man. I'm about to get up out of here, so let me get last words from everybody. Any last words you want to throw in there right quick?
No, man. Just everybody stay safe, wash your hands, socially isolate, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. All right, man. Appreciate you, man.
All
right. Let me get to I'll try to get to Isaiah, but I don't know if he's asleep or what he's doing. Isaiah?
Hey, what's going on, man?
What's up, man? Some last words, man. I'm about to get up out of here. All right, so shoot me some last words. Let me get this to you. Let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this. But I only need like 30 seconds. All right? Okay, because we were looking at some on-court, off-court numbers. All right? You there?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
We were looking at some on-court, off-court numbers. All right? And the Knicks are, with Julius Randle on the court, they gave up 113 points per game. When he's on the court, right? 113 points. When he's off the court, they give up 114. RJ Barrett, when he's on the court, they give up 116.9 points per game. When he's off the court, they give up 109. All right? On the court, the Knicks' assist percentage with Julius Randle was like 53.1. When he's off the court, it's like 53.5 or something, or 53.3, something like that. Assist percentage, the amount of times they assist on a shot. But RJ Barrett, when he's on the court, they assist on 51% of their shots. When he's off the court, they assist on 57% of their shots. What do you take from that?
What I take from that? The biggest thing that jumped for me is that RJ's in his first year, Julius Randle's in his seventh year. Now,
he's actually in his fifth year.
The numbers for RJ.
Julius Randle's actually in his fifth year. He's actually in his fifth year.
In his fifth year. So, I mean, I'm not that stuff like that won't really bother me because, again, RJ's adjusting to the game. So,
what I'm saying, but I'm bringing it up because everyone keeps saying, you got to put the ball in his hands and in his hands and in his hands. But at the moment, the ball isn't moving like people think it's moving when he has the ball in his hands.
Yeah,
and defensively, as far as the numbers are concerned, defensively, it's not moving the way. Defensively, he's not. I was like, hold up, he really can play defense, but You know, and a lot depends on lineups too. So you know, you really can't base it
I
on
was
just
about to
that.
say that
'cause
there's
lineups,
a lot of
but-
factors when it comes to these numbers that we're not really getting into real details, because again, when I see RJ
Well,
with
these
the
are
ball,
details.
I do see for the most part a good smart decision maker, and he does pass to the right people. Just we're such a very terrible shooting team that when he does pass,
Well,
we
let's see
claim
what
shots and stuff like that. And also when it comes to like defensively, I mean, RJ's still a rookie. I mean, he's to me, he's still a really great defender from based on his age.
Well,
and
I wouldn't
everything,
say
and he'll
great. I
get
think he's
better,
good.
but,
I think he's good. I think he's a good defender. I think part of it is they put him in the lineup sometimes with some teams, like even down the stretch when there were blowouts, he would still be in the game sometimes because he's a young guy. So I think that
messes
that.
up his numbers too. So yeah, again, you're right. So when like it's garbage time, he plays with the other players. Again, some of these numbers, man, it's just we would have to. That's a whole show in itself going into details.
Well, I mean, some of these numbers mean something.
Certain players.
Well, some of these numbers mean something because everyone wants to. People. No one ever really tries to take a look at things that are actually happening in the game. People kind of get their mindset and then they roll with it. But hey, I got to get out of here, man. All right, I got to get out of here. Just give me some last words.
Last words, man. This was. I wish people could have heard. Sam, I wish you would have. Technically you have a recording. I wish they would have heard the argument that was going on before the show actually started. Now that would get a lot of views. But you know what, man? At the end of,
might get it thrown over YouTube.
Man, that would get a lot of views.
Might have got it thrown over YouTube.
Say, man, at the end of the day, man, we all got our own opinions. But at the end of the day, man, it's just we talking basketball, man. This is how men that are boys, we talk basketball, man, and we just get it heated. So it's all at the end of the day, we all got love for each other and all that, and we all got different opinions. Me personally, I think Julius Randle just not a good person on the team personally. But you know what? And you feel a different way. But at the end of the day, that's why we debate, man. That's why we have this show, man. It's an amazing show. So let's keep it going, man. Let's keep arguing. I love it.
No doubt. All right, man.
People got to understand. You got to wash your mouth out, Sim, because Lord have mercy. I didn't see that coming.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey, let me see who we got. Let me get this state of New York, man. I don't know if he can hear me. Tell and it looked like him and Mark having a conversation. Big Freezy, you give me some last words, man.
Hey, man. This was heated, man. Here, this whole thing with Randall. People are literally like, about to unfriend me or on Twitter and stuff, man, for Randall. You know what I'm saying? But to the point though of the topic of the day, I just think we got to be patient, man. We can't just try things one year and then scrap it, and then start all over, man. We just have to be patient in the rebuild. Randall's gonna be in the plan long term, whether it's 1 year, the next 2 years, or whatever it is, and we just gotta put pieces, good ball players around him and RJ and Mitch.
Yeah, man. It definitely was a hot topic. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure we'll have a couple of them when we talk about who, keep them or dump them. That's why I say, I'm going to do one player at a time. There's a couple players that I might do two or three at a time. Because RJ Barrett's not going to be much debating about it, right? Mitchell Robinson's not going to be much debate about it. So, there'll be a couple players I do, maybe
but
two.
When you get the Frank.
Oh, boy. When we get the Frank, that joint's going to be all. I might do Frank next. I might do Frank next. When we get to Frank, you already know.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Shoot.
man.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate that.
I appreciate it, man. And I'm gonna do the front stoop tomorrow night, though. I ain't gonna do a show tomorrow night, but then I'm gonna do the front stoop afterwards because it's already 1:19. Yeah. So,
word.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
All right, Freezy. Peace. All right, let me see. I'm gonna come to Guillermo, since it looks like Mark and State of New York having a convo. Guillermo?
Yo, what's up, Sam?
Some last words, man, to end this off? I can't get to those two guys.
First and foremost, you use the offensive on-court and defensive on-court, off-court ratings, but you don't like plus minus, so it's kind of a double speak. And then
I don't think that's a double speak. That's not a double speak. That's not a double speak.
Hey,
I don't think that's a double speak.
I don't like plus and minus.
I don't think that's a double speak. I don't think that's a double speak.
That's double speak. What's it? If you're using if you're using the offensive defense range with a guy on and off the court, what does the plus minus encompass?
But but the plus minus does encompass them being on the court and off the court.
Yeah, but
right?
it says how much better the team is. It's basically the converse of each other. It's saying how good the team is from this guy's impact. That's essentially what it's saying. And what you tried to do, not that you tried to, what you did was you try to say how much impact Julius Randle has on and off the court.
No, I didn't try to say. As a matter of fact, I said it didn't have much impact.
No.
I said it did not have much impact.
The reason why you did it was to try to see if there was any difference in value. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you said there's a lot. And also, I've never said the Knicks play way better offense or defense when he's on or off the court. I'm talking about him individually. That's it. Look, my last words are this: Julius Randle is a talent. But again, you're paying millions of dollars. I understand so. Guys get paid differently, some poorly, some well. Guys are getting paid millions of dollars. I'm not expecting Julius Randle to come in and be Jokic. I'm not expecting him to come in and be Arvydas Sabonis or even a younger Sabonis. But when there's simple basketball plays, you make the simple basketball plays. If you know how to do that after 7 years, you learn.
Well, he hasn't been in the league for 7 years. Do you need a better coach to teach how to do certain things? Obviously, yes, you need coaches. You need better players around you to be a better team overall.
But
make a simple pass out people keep saying 7 years. He hasn't. You actually, there's actually 2 years less of development because the first year he didn't play. First of all, if he did play his first year, he would only have been in the league. This would have been his 6th year. He did not play his first year. He played 1 game his first year. Right, so this is literally his 5th year. This is his 5th year in the league.
Okay, 5 years
or whatever. You know, I mean, it is. You know, I mean,
doesn't it take you? I ain't gonna change your mind. You don't need 5 years to learn how to make the proper basketball play.
You know what? And there's players. I can guarantee. I can go do a highlight reel of every player in the NBA that's been in the league for 15 years who doesn't make the right plays.
First of all, Sim, you're not gonna find it because a lot of those guys that you're talking about, they get sent to the G League or they're playing overseas.
No, I'm talking about guys that's not in the G League. That still make bad plays in it. I mean, it happens.
And they're making the same as Julius Randle on teams, and they're making those same mistakes. And they're making $17 million a year, making the same mistakes Julius Randle's making.
You're going to tell me there's not players in the league that's been in the league for 10 years, for 15 making years. $17-18 million in the league, and make the same mistakes still over and over. I guarantee you there
15 years and making the same mistakes Julius Randle's making.
I didn't say Julius Randle. They're making their own mistakes. So yeah. They're making every player's gonna have their own mistakes, bro. Every player's gonna have their own things. Because what you're saying is he's the only player that does that. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Sim, you put words in my mouth and you're gonna mute me, bro. I never said. This is what you do, Sim.
Give me your last words, bro. Give me your last words, man. Give me your last words, man.
Well, my last words is that Sim likes to put words in people's mouth. I've never said that. I didn't say.
I don't like to put words in people's mouth. So I'm not. Don't make accusations against me. You know what I'm saying? Don't make accusations against me. Mark, you want to give me some last words, man? Hey, Mark. My man, Mark. Mark can't hear me. I was trying to get State of New York podcast on the show. Don't look like I'm going to get those two guys up there because they're having a conversation. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get up out of here, man, because I can't get those two guys' attention enough so that they can get on the show. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to put words in nobody's mouth. Why would I do that? I got enough words coming out of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? To say, got enough words coming out of my mouth. I don't need to put words in anybody else's mouth. Anyway, it's going to be a lot more of these because we got a whole team. We got 17 players to talk about. Some of the guys, is going to be da-da-da-da-da. We got 17 players to talk about. Whether we should keep them or dump them. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fun show. Talked about a lot as far as Julius Randle is concerned. You make up your mind, man. You put your comments in the description. You know what I'm saying? And or your comments down below, not in the description. And by the way, If you like hip-hop music, follow me on the Front Stoop. I meant to say that when I first started this program, but I forgot about it. Follow me on the Front Stoop. All right? The link is in the description of this video. Follow me there right now, ladies and gentlemen. I will be on the Front Stoop tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we're going to break down point guards in the draft. All right? 10:30. You'll get the notification. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to me right now. All right, subscribe right now. Ring that notification bell. Smash that like button for me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here.
That's the deal.